One of the other factors that comes into play is how many times have you ever tried something and with one business owner and it just worked great? And then you tried the exact same approach, the exact same way with the second customer and it crashed and burned. Well, there's a reason for that. A long time ago, a gentleman by the name of David Merrill actually discovered what he calls is the style awareness, meaning that all of us have different styles, things that we do, things that the way we act, the way we make decisions, in terms of how we might buy things, specifically if we're talking about a sales call in this case, that some people will buy based on emotion, some people will buy more based on facts, just depending upon our style. Are your sales reps aware of this? Most companies that we speak to have gone through some type of style awareness training, so they may be somewhat familiar with this. A lot of these names we have here, doer, actor, thinker, friend, but they're all different types of names based on which companies are using different versions of David Merrill's style awareness training. But most people are familiar with this. The reason this is up here is several reasons. One is that depending upon your own sales rep style, the effectiveness of the sales call can be based on their ability to quickly identify, adapt, and adjust their style to the person that they're interacting with, which, if done well, will give them a much higher percentage chance of having a better interaction. If you notice the people on the right, the actor and the doer style, also known as like the driver director style or expressive creative in terms of the actor, they tend to by nature tell more often versus ask more often, and of course the people on the right would then be the ones that would ask more often. And then again, some people make decisions more based on heart or emotion or facts. The doer's mission in life is to be in control, the actor's mission in life is recognition, the thinker's mission in life is to be correct, everything has to add up, and the friend's mission in life is really relationships, being able to connect with people. And again, your sales rep's ability to be able to quickly identify, adapt, and adjust their style to that person's style can have a lot to do with the success and the outcome of the sales interaction. So how well do they do on those fronts? Would you say that they're pretty good? We see a lot of mistakes happen here. This is another one I would say of one of the more common mistakes. One of the things that needs to be pointed out before we leave this slide, and this may be the most important part, based on our findings, all the years that we've spent in the street really studying this ourselves to see how accurate these styles actually work out, we've noticed an incredible trend here, that the majority of small business owners fall on the right side of this chart, more on the doer and the actor side. There's a very specific reason for this. They tend to be risk takers. Think about it. If you were in a steady job with a 401k and benefits and then tomorrow you had to quit your job and start your own company, that's a heck of a risk, right, to have to take. Some people are comfortable with that, some aren't. The people on the right-hand side tend to be more comfortable. Now, this is where it gets interesting in terms of our findings. I've conducted this test with sales reps all over the world for the last 15 plus years, and almost unanimously, the majority of salespeople tend to also fall on the right side of that chart. Now, that should sound like a good thing, right? The fact that they can relate to each other, they understand each other, they're similar in styles, it should work out very well, yes? Okay, there could be a couple problems here though. I want you to notice again on the right-hand side of the doer and the actor, do they tell more often or do they ask more often? Well, think about that for a second. If they're both more comfortable telling, then how much listening is actually taking place? And if there's no real listening taking place, how much understanding is actually happening? And if you're not asking and listening and understanding as a sales rep, then are you really able to understand what that business owner's needs are? One other characteristic you should keep in mind here, because this in many cases can almost be a perfect storm from our findings in terms of some of the more common mistakes that we see happening. Are they patient? And we would both say in this cases, both the sales rep and in the case of the business owner, they're both very impatient people. Now think about it from your standpoint, being a sales manager, the people that run the sales organization itself. How patient are you? If you're a sales manager and you're saying to your sales rep, look, I need you to go out and make a couple of sales today because you're behind in terms of your quota, the sales rep who's already impatient goes out and does the exact same thing to the business owner that's impatient. Now watch where this goes next. In a lot of cases, that business owner, as soon as that person calls him on the phone, the sales rep, or walks into a place of business, may come back and say, what do you got? What are you selling? Now, the sales rep may look at that as, okay, this is great. This is a buying signal. And how quickly do they jump right to the price? And if that's the case, and they jump pretty quickly into the price, then they have better hope that the perceived value of that business owner for whatever product and service you're offering is also very high. But without them really understanding what it is that that sales rep is offering and how it's going to specifically help their business, and also keeping in mind the steps of the sale again, if the sales rep has not found out what that business owner's true goals, objectives, and needs are for their business, they throw out that solution very quickly because they're impatient, the business owner's impatient, the sales manager's impatient, everybody's pretty impatient here. Is this a good matchup right now? Now think about it again. You've got the person's guard up very high, the sales rep's credibility is extremely low. Everybody seems to also be fairly impatient. They get thrown into a price and perceived value conversation within the first couple of minutes of this interaction. Does the sales rep really have any type of realistic chance of making a sale? And our findings are that they don't, that this is almost a perfect storm. And without some patience and training of the right way to interact with this business owner, that they can end up, in more cases than not, ending up letting a great prospect or client and a sale slip right through their fingers because of some of these common mistakes. And it's not until that sales rep, over several minutes, and it does take several minutes for them to slowly build their case as to why their product and their solution is going to make the most sense, and that perceived value become greater than or equal to or greater than the price they're going to be asking that business owner to invest, then and only then does the sale actually take place. These are just some of the more common things that we see over and over again, and something for you to keep in mind, because I think over time we have figured out how to change all of those last 3 slides and have them work into your favor to make more sales.